All right, y'all, today we're taking a look at this boudoir photography business and see if it has BSS for its local high intent keyword search and its city high intent keyword search. So we're here in the GBC universe where we're taking declining boudoir photographers to the #1 boudoir photographer in their city. Our North Star, as always, is FSIC, which is full spectrum intent capture. More info on that, pinned video, whatever, pinned post, pinned profile, somewhere out there. And that is because FSIC explains why all boudoir photographers either rise or fall. Those rising are missing some, or those rising are successfully getting all different types of people with different intent all along our intent ladder here into their business, or to know about their business at least. And those falling are, missing out on getting some cohort of these people throughout our intent ladder here. Now, the highest intent people over on the left, BSS, that's what we focus on here. If we're missing those, probably because of BSS. The lowest intent people, but the largest volume of people over on the right. That's our other brand. That's where we talk about BLCS. It's our Boudoir Facebook Ad Doctor brand. That's where we're working with Boudoir Facebook advertisers running more than 10 grand a month in Boudoir Facebook ads. So BSS, we're focusing on social search, Google search, people looking for boudoir photo shoots. The highest intent people closest to the money. So BSS, boudoir search sameness, is when a boudoir photographer has 0 or 1 slots on page 1 of Google. And 0 slots on page 1 means we're on page 2 or deeper, which means we're effectively invisible because the approximately 80% of Google searches never go to page 2. So we want to hit this approximately 80% cohort. We want to get as many of them as possible, highest chance they click on us. And that means we got to be on page 1. Page 2, we're invisible. Page 1, we got a shot. But even 1 slot on page 1 is not enough because there's 10 slots, 9 other competing boudoir photographers. Everyone's got 1 slot. We look the same as everyone else. And when we look the same as everyone else, well, we get price shopped. They go down the Google search, they literally open up every single link, contact everyone, get a quote from everyone. So we got to show up more. So that lowers the chance of them price shopping us or even knowing other competitors even exist. And 0 or 1 slots on page 1 of Google is not normal. It's not normal to have that few. That's a tiny number of slots on page 1. It's actually the symptom of 2 deeper root causes. First one, market saturation, basically everyone knows about. Second one, basically nobody knows about. So market saturation, more peeps, seems like every week, get a new iPhone, get a new, basically new iPhone, turn up their Google My Business profile, got their website, saying they do boudoir photo shoots now. And, someone gets a new camera, they're posting in the mom groups that they also do boudoir photo shoots. So it's market saturation. More sellers for the same number of buyers makes it harder for every single seller. But this is not really the killer. The actually killer, the #1 killer of boudoir photography businesses I've seen, is the false belief of page 1 equality. It's where everyone, accepts, thinks it's normal that, every boudoir photographer gets like 0 or 1 slots on page 1. And, maybe if you added 1 slot on page 1, you get kicked off to page 2. That's normal. That's how it is. And yeah, you kind of just got to take your 1 slot wherever it lands. That is 100% incorrect. And this like an implicit belief. People aren't actually thinking about this and saying, do I agree with this, yes or no? It's kind of implicit. People agree on it because there's never been a word for it for people to agree or disagree or say it's true or false. Now, I know this is false because I went from 0 out of 10 slots on page 1 of Google to 9 out of 10 slots on page 1 of Google in 10 days. So I already know page 1 equality, that's false. That's not even real. What actually is real is Google will give us as many page 1 slots as we want to put in the work to take. And we also know that a boudoir photographer with BSS, boudoir search sameness, is a disappearing boudoir photographer. Because look, if we're being pushed off to page 2 and deeper, where we already know approximately 20% of people go, then, I mean, we disappear, and eventually our business, if we stay there, our business is going to disappear eventually as well. So it's kind of a canary in the coal mine. And if we only got one slot on page one, we're like the same as everyone else. We're disappearing as well. So we got our kind of before stay here. Disappearing boudoir photographer with boudoir search sameness is caused by market saturation and the false belief of page one equality. So now here we go. We got a solution. BSS is true with social search saturation, aka our proprietary S-cubed methodology. And we've been working on this for about 7 months. Finally bringing it to market. This is exactly what I used to, again, go from 0 out of 10 to 9 out of 10 slots, page one on Google in 10 days. And what's magical about this is it's the only thing I've seen that is able to successfully outcompete market saturation. So basically, if we use S-cubed methodology, let's say saturate social search, where the first 300 search results for a high intent keyword for someone looking for a boudoir photo shoot is us and only us. And it's same across all the social networks, no matter where they search. And those are all the same as Google as well. That's what the first 30 pages is all us. 10 organic search results per page, 30 pages of search results to consume our 300 kind of positions. Now, if we're in whatever Phoenix, Arizona, we got a million boudoir photographers total competing in that market. Everyone's got a website. Everyone's trying to rank on page one. But we've done enough S-cubed methodology to, get those first 300 slots of organic search everywhere, social and, search engine search. Who are boudoir photography buyers gonna see when they search? They're basically only gonna see us. So whose business is going to be growing? Basically only ours. They would have to go to page 31 on Google search to find anyone else. So, and that's if there are a million boudoir photographers, if we do S-cubed methodology enough. So, and if there are a million in our city. So again, S-cubed methodology is the only thing I've seen that allows us to successfully outcompete market saturation. And I got to show my results in it a little bit. Now, once you're with S-cubed methodology, we have page one visibility. So we no longer look like everyone else with either 0 or 1 slot. And hopefully we hit our GBC minimum of 3 out of 10 slots is what we want to hit. Now, an extra bonus of doing S-cubed methodology is we're kicking competing boudoir photographers off page one, effectively making this invisible. It's the same, kick them off page one for social search, all the social networks, as well as Google. And we know on Google that approximately 80% of Google searches never go to page two. So for the bulk of the searchers, the potential buyers, the more slots we take up at page one, the more they never even see or know about our competitors existing when scrolling through Google search to see, who to click on and, whose website to fill out and contact. And that's what we care about, the 80%, approximately 80%, the bulk that's never going to page two. We want to capture as many of them as possible. So every page one link we get is a less boudoir photographer we're being compared against or, price shopped against. Now, page one visibility activates boudoir search visibility for us. So that's when we get 2 or more, hopefully, GBC minimum 3 or more, 3 out of 10 or more slots where we're actually being seen. We're not one slot like everyone else, looking like everyone else. People don't even notice us. I mean, they'll click on us, but we really don't capture attention. 2, there's probably one other person that's got 2 slots anyways. We really got to hit 3 of the GBC minimum, 3 out of 10 to get this, have this strong boudoir search visibility. And a boudoir photographer with BSV is a visible boudoir photographer. So we got our micro universe here. So disappearing boudoir photographer with boudoir search sameness is solved by is caused by market saturation and page one equality, which was the false belief of page one equality. Now we know it's false. Now we also have a solution that can solve it, our S-cubed methodology, where we achieve page one visibility, become a visible boudoir photographer with boudoir search visibility. So my results using this S-cubed methodology for myself. I wanted to rank for the term BLCS boudoir. AO overview, didn't hit that yet. But now we go down to organic search below the Google Map Pack. We got page one, or organic slot one, IG, me. Slot two, me. Slot three, me. Slot four, me. Slot five, me. Slot six, me. Slot seven, me. Slot eight, me. Slot 10, me. So literally, dude, this took 10 days. 0 out of 10 to 9 out of 10 in 10 days for this keyword. And if someone's searching this, who are they going to? You think they're going to the person in slot 9, or you think they're going to click on one of mine or all of mine and see it's all me over and over and over and over and over again, and kind of just say, wow, Google keeps recommending this guy. I should probably go with this guy, even if there are other competitors. It's the sheer volume of how much they're seeing us. Be like, why is Google recommending this person so much? There must be some reason. They must be good. They must be the best in the universe. And so this result I've gotten it for myself, kind of increasing this method over the last 7 months. Now we got the main event here. You can see this boudoir photography business has BSS for its local search, Aliso Viejo, California, or its city search, This one I actually made pretty broad, OC, Orange County, California. So let's check that out. All right, so Aliso Viejo, California. All right, let's go to the organics. Boom, we got organic one. Ooh, nice. We got organic two, or we got second slot there, slot number 3. So we got 2 out of 10. Boom, we got 3 out of 10 with the Yelp. 4, Event Detective. I'll take that. 5, MapQuest. All right, awesome. Perfect, dude. 5 out of 10. Dude, anything three's the minimum we want to hit. So good. We do not have BSS for local. That's a default. We should never be. Dude, we should be dominating local. Every boudoir photographer can dominate their local search. So 5 out of 10. So we do not have BSS, and we hit the GBC recommended minimum of 3 out of 10 slots page 1 on Google. And guess what? The more slots we take up on page 1 on Google, the more competitors we kick off, the more people who want to buy from us will never even find our competitors, because approximately 80% of all Google searches are page 1 only. They never even go to page 2. So boom, that's local. Let's check out larger. Now, technically this is not city, this is county, OC Orange County, but there was no big city. I mean, I could have done Anaheim, but they were too far away from Anaheim. So let's see. All right, we're looking. All right, here we go. Got 1. 1 out of 10. 1 out of 10. All right, so we got 1 out of 10. So we do have BSS for the larger city search, or in this case, the county search. So we'll treat this as the quasi-city search. So we do have BSS for the city search, and we are not hitting the GBC minimum of 3 out of 10 for the city search. So if you're a disappearing boudoir photographer, you've done your local search, you've done your city search, either have BSS for one of those, or you're not meeting the GBC recommended minimum of 3 out of 10 for one of those. And you realize this means you're starting to disappear. A disappearing boudoir photographer. This is the first kind of flag, the first kind of warning light. If we start becoming disappearing here, eventually the business becomes disappearing as well. And you're seeing SQ methodology like, yes, this is exactly what I need. This is what you've been wanting to use or wanting to have as a solution for a while. And you've already broken out the false belief of page 1 equality. And you understand market saturation. Yeah, people get new gear, okay. And you're loving the initial awesome benefits, SQ methodology, more links page 1 on Google, kicking more competitors off page 1 on Google, kind of making them become disappearing boudoir photographers. And you're looking ahead, and you're seeing, since you understand market saturation, you're actually seeing that AI is going to be taking a ton of people's jobs more and more over time. So it's literally going to be kind of bringing in a larger and larger amount of boudoir photographers over time. So you're realizing you got to fortify your position on page 1 on Google not just get it right now, but actually kind of build up even excess links in the back end in reserve that so many links out there that actually prevents any future competing boudoir photographers from getting on page one either. And you're saying, okay, SQ methodology is also the only thing you see that can accomplish that. So it's kind of a near-term extra benefit. And you want to achieve boudoir search page one visibility, so that you become a visible boudoir photographer with boudoir search visibility, because you know you need those things in order to become the #1 boudoir photographer in your city. And you also understand the future backend benefits of becoming #1, or of utilizing SQ methodology. Is basically the first one is you're building up these invisible thematic keyword columns, kind of like plugged into your brand, plugged into your business name, your website, your social media handles, or kind of like spokes, hub and spoke, plugging these different spoke columns into your brand that actually bring, that actually eat up mind share in the back end Google AI kind of like mind brain. And so, that every day we successfully execute SQ methodology, higher chance you'll be getting recommended here AI overview, because you're basically bundling up kind of these building up repetition, authority, relevance, frequency, age of these invisible thematic keyword columns that takes up AI mindshare, which also increases the probability recommended AI search, ChatGPT growing AI search growing every single day. ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, Microsoft Copilot, Google Gemini. Google search is still, approximately 90% of global search, but AI search is literally growing every day. It's what I use most frequently. It's basically just give me the summary. I don't want to click through it after read and figure these things out myself. And I know last time I did search for boudoir photographers in a city that I got 3, and then I went searching myself on Google, and there's like approximately 60 in that city. So I'm like, okay, we definitely got to be building momentum here, increase the probability recommended in these 3 slots. And you're seeing, okay, SQ methodology is the only thing that will build these invisible thematic keyword columns for you to achieve this increase in probability of AI search being recommended for AI search. And you're also understanding that, my current plan is to only work with 1 boudoir photographer per city. So you decide, hey, you're going to jump on this first, get all these initial benefits, box out your competitors so they can't use me, build up this kind of invisible momentum gap with your competitors to where, we can get it to where essentially they can never, ever catch up to us. And, the converse, if your competitor were to work with me first, that you'd actually have to go rederive or derive SQ methodology for yourself. And then you'd have to go execute it. But you would never be 100% confident putting in the time to execute it, because you would not know if you've even derived it correctly in the first place. And, when you'd have to equal our execution every day with me and your competitor, and you'd have to, that's simply to maintain the gap. To actually make up progress, you'd have to double or triple our output every single day using the system I invented. And to close that gap, be able to basically pull that AI mindshare back from me and your competitor, kind of those invisible thematic keyword columns. And who's got 80 hours in a day to do that? So you're like, screw that. You've decided you're going to be first mover of your city to actually get all this stuff done. And so if that's you, shoot me a DM. My DMs are currently closed. The hospital is currently closed, not taking any new patients. But when my DMs do open, shoot me a DM and we'll see if you qualify for utilizing our S cubed methodology.